There are places in Europe where people don't just go missing, they vanish completely. No struggle, no warning, no explanation. One moment, they're there, and the next, it's like they were never there at all. No bodies were found, no clues were left behind, and in some cases, even the search teams couldn't explain what they were looking at. Number 7. Dyatlov Pass, Russia. In the winter of 1959, a group of 9 experienced hikers set out on a journey across the Ural Mountains in the Soviet Union. They were trained, prepared, and familiar with harsh conditions. This was not their first expedition, and nothing about the route suggested that it would be unusually dangerous. But somewhere along the way, something happened that turned a routine trek into one of the most disturbing and unexplained cases in modern history. When search teams finally reached the campsite weeks later, what they found did not make sense. The group's tent had been cut open from the inside, as if the hikers had tried to escape quickly rather than exit normally. Their belongings, including warm clothing and boots, were left behind. Outside, footprints led away from the tent into the snow, but many of them were barefoot or wearing only socks, despite the freezing temperatures. As the bodies were discovered over time, the situation became even more difficult to explain. Some of the hikers had died from hypothermia, but others showed signs of severe trauma. Broken ribs, crushed skulls, and injuries that resembled the impact of a powerful force, yet there were no clear signs of a struggle or an external attack. Even more unsettling were reports that some of the bodies were missing parts, including eyes and, in one case, the tongue. The official investigation concluded that the hikers had died due to a compelling natural force, a phrase that explained nothing. No clear cause was ever confirmed. Over the years, theories have ranged from avalanches to military testing, from infrasound to something far less explainable. But none of them fully account for every detail. To this day, the exact reason why they left that tent remains unknown. Number 6. Hoia Baciu Forest, Romania. Hoia Baciu Forest is often referred to as one of the most haunted forests in the world, but its reputation is not based on stories alone. Over the years, there have been numerous reports of unexplained events, including sudden disappearances, electronic malfunctions, and strange physical sensations experienced by visitors. One of the most unusual aspects of the forest is a circular clearing where vegetation does not grow properly. The ground in this area remains barren, and attempts to explain it through natural causes have not produced consistent answers. People who enter this clearing have reported dizziness, anxiety, and the feeling of being watched, even when no one else is present. There have also been accounts of individuals entering the forest and losing track of time. What feels like a few minutes can turn into hours, with no clear explanation of what happened in between. In some cases, people claim to have seen shapes or figures moving between the trees, only for them to disappear when approached. The forest's reputation grew further after reports of a shepherd who entered the area with a flock of sheep and was never seen again. While details vary depending on the source, the core of the story remains the same. People go in, and sometimes they do not come out. Number 5. Hinterkaifeck Farm, Germany. Footprints were discovered in the snow, leading from the forest toward the house, but none leading back. Strange noises were heard in the attic, tools were moved without explanation, and yet, despite all of this, the family remained on the farm. When the bodies were eventually discovered, they had been placed in different areas of the property. What made the case even more disturbing was what happened afterward. Evidence suggested that the person responsible may have remained on the farm for days after the incident, feeding the animals and moving through the house unnoticed. No clear suspect was ever confirmed, no definitive motive was established, and the identity of the person who was present on that farm was never proven. Number 4. Eilean Mor Lighthouse, Scotland. On a remote island off the coast of Scotland, there is a lighthouse that once operated as a critical point for maritime navigation. In 1900, 3 lighthouse keepers were stationed there, responsible for maintaining the light and ensuring safe passage for ships in the surrounding waters. When a supply ship arrived, something was immediately wrong. The lighthouse was unattended, The light was out, and there was no sign of the keepers. Inside, everything appeared mostly normal. Meals had been left unfinished. Equipment was in place, but the men were gone. No bodies were found. No clear signs of struggle were reported. One detail stood out. A chair had been overturned, as if someone had stood upside. But beyond that, there was nothing that explained where the three men had gone, or why they had all left at the same time. The official explanation suggested that a large wave may have swept them away, but the lack of clear evidence has left room for doubt, because whatever caused them to leave the safety of the lighthouse happened quickly enough that none of them returned. Number 3. Black Forest disappearances, Germany. The Black Forest in Germany is known for its dense trees, deep valleys, and long history. It is a place that has inspired stories for centuries, from folklore to modern accounts of unusual events. But beyond the legends, there have been real cases of people entering the forest and never being seen again. What makes these disappearances difficult to explain is the nature of the environment. The forest is vast, with areas that are rarely visited. Paths can become confusing, and visibility can change quickly depending on weather and light conditions. Some cases involve hikers who are familiar with the area. Others involve individuals who were simply passing through. In certain situations, search efforts were launched, but no trace of the missing person was found. No clear pattern connects all of these cases, but the number of incidents has contributed to the forest's reputation as a place where it is possible to lose more than just your way. Number 2. The Lost Village of Anjikuni, Story Case. In the early 20th century, a small village near a remote lake was reportedly found completely abandoned. According to accounts, the structures were still standing, personal belongings were left behind, and there were no signs of struggle or conflict. What made the situation unusual was the complete absence of people. No bodies were found, no clear explanation was given, and no confirmed record of where the residents might have gone. Over time, the story has been debated, with some suggesting that details may have been exaggerated or altered. But the idea of an entire settlement disappearing without a trace has remained part of the narrative. Whether fully accurate or not, it represents a type of mystery that continues to capture attention. Number 1. The Lost Patrol, Arctic Europe Case. In the Arctic regions of Europe, where conditions are extreme and survival depends on careful planning, there have been cases of groups entering the environment and failing to return. One such case involves a patrol that disappeared during an expedition, leaving behind minimal evidence of what occurred. The environment itself presents significant challenges. Low temperatures, limited visibility, and unpredictable conditions can quickly turn a controlled situation into a dangerous one. Search efforts in these regions are difficult, and in some cases, incomplete. The combination of natural hazards and isolation creates scenarios where answers are not always available.